this is a slide prepared by a colleague at NYU, Scott Galloway, who runs a luxury research think tank. And they were looking at social media buzz in China. And this gives you, as measured by social media, what are the core brands in China. And it's interesting that most of them tend to be associated with cars. Cars being perhaps the most conspicuous aspect of conspicuous consumption. But Vuitton, part of the LVMH conglomerate, is the third most well-known brand in terms of clothes and personal adornment. And then this is an interesting matrix, because certain companies have spent a lot of money to create a bricks and mortar retail footprint, but regardless, their brand prominence wasn't somehow, isn't consonant with the amount of outlets. So if you walk around China, with all the infrastructure building, there's mall after mall, and they're all filled with stores. So you'll find your Zegna and Bali and Lacoste stores sort of replicated every 100 feet in the same city. But on the other hand, Chanel and Prada and Hermes, which are harder to find, and we once had to actually try to find an Hermes tie as a gift, prior to going to have dinner with a Chinese official, and it was pretty hard to actually find one. Yet the social buzz associated with those brands is actually much more pronounced. So there's got to be some takeaway associated with that from a marketing perspective. Another little interesting insight is these are anecdotes taken from a study where the core issue was whether Chinese need Chinese models and actors and representatives for the sale of luxury product. And almost universally, the Chinese said they preferred to have a Westerner, a Western model modeling mascara, or in the case of the Philips plasma TV, it was a Caucasian couple. And this is seen as somehow representative or indicative of globalization. So a lot of luxury marketing is now expressly targeting itself for the Chinese consumer. So Guerlain, which is in the LVMH portfolio, does a huge event annually just for the Chinese, the uber-rich Chinese. They'll fly them to Singapore or Macau or Hong Kong and then unveil their latest extravagances. This, for instance, is actually a diamond covered perfume bottle, and when you take the lid off and squeeze the wings of the bee, the perfume squirts out, and it's 400,000 euros, perfume included. This is Breguet, which is a luxury watchmaker. They actually invented the tourbillon movement, which is this kind of balance that keeps a watch accurate. They've sort of topped it and invented a double tourbillon, which the largest buyers of which are Chinese, aside from Russian oligarchs. So it retails for circa $400,000. And then here's a Gucci diamond belt, again, targeting Chinese Veblenians. This is an ensemble of Macallan Fine and Rare whiskey with a cabinet made by Viscount Linley, who's the son of Princess Margaret, the nephew of the Queen, and with the vintage Scotch and the cabinet, it's $90,000. Again, specifically made for a Master of Spirits event hosting Chinese. So I'm coming to a conclusion now. There's nothing new in the idea of luxury. It's sort of old as the hills. Here are some, if you like, iconic images of luxury from yesteryear. Versailles, Queen Elizabeth I, all decked out. This is the Forbidden Palace in Beijing to her right. Above that is a Fabergé egg, Russian. To the right of the egg is an Indian Maharaja, the Maharaja of Patiala, who had a fleet of Rolls Royces. And in one instance, he was trying to order another one, and Rolls Royce was sort of not being particularly cooperative. So he then started hauling garbage around with two of the Rolls Royces or something in his fleet, which upset Rolls Royce so much that they complied. And the Viceroy actually sent a note saying, you better get him his Rolls Royce, because this is degrading the brand. To the right of that is the Russian Imperial Crown, and then below that, again, it's top-heavy with Indian images, which is, I'm allowed to be chauvinistic. That's the palace of the Maharaja of Mysore. And I've actually been in it, and it's full of, he has a Wedgwood room, about the size of this, all done in Wedgwood porcelain. And it's full of stuffed animals that past generations have shot. So you have to avoid standing on a tiger's head or a So anyway, finally, often in classes on strategy and this Michael Porter scheme of 5 forces is alluded to, and this has almost become like a Bible of what drives strategy, and luxury is in some sense an outlier of Porter's scheme. This idea of threat of substitute products and bargaining power of customers. There's no issue of bargaining power. Actually, the more expensive something is, the more people, the more sought after it is in the domain of the uber luxury category. And my final comment then is that EMs, and this is particularly China-centric, this presentation. So EMs are in a dynamic state of flux. They're rapidly changing societies, new monies being minted, and the idea of status, globalism, cosmopolitanism, fashion, modernity, all of these ideas, beauty, are all there to be shaped by marketing forces. And these concepts in a state of flux stand in contrast with more culturally stable and ingrained notions like national pride, identity, face for the Chinese, family, food, respect for the elderly, etc. And the final thought to leave you with is that the seductive influence of luxury is going to continue to hold sway. There's nothing, it's always been around. It's taking off in Asia with a vengeance, and it's not going to recede anytime soon. So happy to take questions or have you share your thoughts on the subject. And if anyone's interested, actually, there's an extensive set of references which pretty much are all the major pieces that reference luxury in the marketing and finance literature. Yes? No. No, it was a presentation put together especially for you guys. But you're welcome to get a copy of it, should you want. Great.
Thank you, Doctor.